If it's a threat, they'd be stupid to underestimate him or look past him. They believe in their man, but they know there's a threat there.
No, but I'll tell you one thing Joshua's very good at. Once he finds the range with the jab, within 2 shots, he's got the range with the right hand. So most fighters throw a jab, boom, falls a bit short, but it's a bit long.
A really interesting fight against Fabio Wardley.
Yeah,
Wardley, of course, who's undefeated still, but lucky maybe, some would say, after being outboxed round after round against...
The press conference between Joseph Parker and Fabio Wardley wasn't just another bout of promotional bravado, it was a lesson in composure versus chaos. When Parker's trainer Andy Lee finally snapped back at Wardley, the tone in the room changed. It wasn't loud, and it wasn't wild, but it was final. Lee dismantled Wardley's swagger with...
He has skills, and it's an unorthodox style that a lot of people will be puzzled by. But he's proven and showed that has to be reckoned with in the heavyweight division.
Surgical precision, cutting through every boast about knockouts with calm authority. His steady tone exposed the thin edge of Wardley's confidence, turning what was meant to be a war of words into a quiet schooling. It felt less like a debate and more like a teacher correcting an overconfident...
The why, he's got to be unrelentless. He's got to be relentless. He's got to go on and on and on and on. He can't take...
...student in front of the class. Wardley thrives on swagger, but Andy Lee buried him under sheer composure. If he wants a chance, Lee said coldly, he'll have to fight like a man possessed, no hesitation, no mercy. His words hit like body shots, because the truth is simple. Facing someone as composed, seasoned...
In front of you, fight them, smash them, move on to the next. So for me, this Fabio Wardley fight is the most important, and he is my Usyk, because there's no point thinking about Usyk if I can't take care of business.
And technically ruthless as Joseph Parker demands more than raw power. It demands mental steel. Parker doesn't get drawn into chaos. He waits until it burns itself out. That's the difference between hype and heritage. His mindset was clear in every moment, deliberate, calm.
In certain areas of his technique, which was proven in his last fight against, was it Hooney?
Justice Hooney.
Justice Hooney, right? Because he was exposed.
He was.
For his boxing skills.
Yeah.
Stripped of ego, filled with purpose. He didn't look at Wardley as a rival, but as a task. Another challenge to solve. Every fight matters, Parker said. Every challenge counts. It wasn't arrogance. It was discipline. While Wardley's eyes seemed fixed on headlines and knockouts, Parker's focus stayed locked on execution, precision, and the quiet art of dismantling an opponent one round.
But I'm talking about with somebody who doesn't fiddle around, somebody who actually would like to get him in the latter rounds and is capable of knocking people over. You know, he's a puncher. You've seen him do it, and he's done it.
Round at a time. Former world champion Duke McKenzie summed it up perfectly. Wardley's flaws, he said, are visible to anyone who knows the game. He pointed to the Justice Hooney fight, where Wardley's rawness bled through every round, a performance that peeled back the layers and revealed a fighter still learning what it means to survive against the elite.
Got wonderful skills, and under Andy Lee he's really rejuvenated, and I think he's one of the best heavyweights in the world, period. Now former world champion, of course. I think he's better than he once was, so that's a problem for Wardley, but Wardley brings that power in. And remember, Joe Joyce knocked Joe Parker out.
Against Parker, McKenzie warned, that kind of looseness could be fatal. You can't hide mistakes from a former world champion. Even promoter Frank Warren understands the danger. He's seen that look in Parker's eyes before. The quiet, lethal focus that comes only from experience. Warren's been in boxing long enough to recognize
7-set combinations, he can fight. So he needs to control this beast. If he doesn't control it, don't be surprised if you get an upset Saturday night. Don't be surprised.
Do you think Parker has the power or the speed and combination?
I think he's got the speed.
Recognize a genuine threat when it stands in front of him. Parker's power isn't hype. It's proven. He's stopped men who were built to last. Under real pressure. That distinction matters. Many fighters carry power, but few know how to weaponize it with timing, patience, and control. Parker isn't just heavy-handed. He's deliberate. Every shot has intent. Every counter a purpose. It's not just about ending fights. It's about ending hope. Respected analyst Adam Smith explained why this version of Parker is different. Under Andy Lee, he said, Parker's become sharper, calmer, and far more dangerous. Wardley's power might grab headlines, but Parker's precision gives opponents nightmares. And it's true. The new Parker doesn't just survive exchanges, he dominates them. He dictates tempo, distance, and damage. When he...
Then listen, then I got all the mandatories, you know? But this is my Usyk now, Fabio Wardley. Like the target's on him, and nothing else matters. Because if I don't get this right, there's no point talking about any other fight.
Finds his rhythm, fights become performances. Johnny Nelson took it even further. Parker's toolbox is overflowing. He's not just a puncher anymore. He's a technician who breaks you down piece by piece. Once he settles, the fight tilts entirely his way. Wardley may swing big, but Parker lands smarter. In heavyweight boxing, that's the difference between highlight reels and Hall of Fame moments. When Parker speaks, you feel the conviction. There's no bluff or theatrics. Only truth forged through hardship. He's walked through fire, rebuilt, and returned sharper. Wardley is the only name I care about right now. Parker said firmly. No talk of Usyk, Fury, or Joshua. No distractions. Just focus. That kind of tunnel vision separates.
I've not come here to play around. I've not made it this far in my career to just hang about and wait for things to be handed to me. I'm very much a go-getter. Look,
The elite from the ambitious. Wardley's confidence is admirable. Necessary even. I believe in myself, he keeps saying. Fair enough. But there's a fine line between belief and delusion. Talking about knocking out Joseph Parker is easy when you've never stood across from someone who can hit harder and smarter. Parker's taken bombs from Deontay Wilder and outboxed bruisers like Zhilei Zhang. Compared to that, Wardley's resume feels like a warm-up. Wardley can punch, no doubt, but power without precision is wasted motion. Parker's timing could turn Wardley's aggression into his undoing. Every time Wardley talks about knockouts, he reminds the world how untested he still is. Talk is loud before the bell.
I mean, firstly, Joe Parker is on an incredible run.
Absolutely.
I mean, he's beaten Wilder when no one really wanted to fight him. He's beaten Zhang when he was like the bogeyman, and he's just beaten Bakoli, although, you know, on short notice. I mean, that was a dangerous fight to take. So
Absolutely.
I love Joe. I think he deserves an opportunity. Joe against Dubois, Joe against Usyk, Joe against AJ. They're all great.
But when it rings, only discipline, skill, and heart matter. Eddie Hearn said it best. Parker isn't just winning, he's conquering. Those victories over Wilder and Zhang weren't luck, they were statements. He's fought the fights others avoided. That's what makes him different. Wardley's rise is exciting, but it's built on names that don't carry the same weight. Parker's resurgence is built on legacy, not marketing. Hearn's tone carried respect, even admiration. He mentioned potential future fights with Usyk, Joshua, and Dubois, not as fantasy, but as rightful conversations. Parker's earned his seat back at the top table, Hearn said. And he's right. For Parker, Wardley isn't the test, he's the reminder. For Wardley, Parker is the test, the mountain that decides whether he's built for the summit or destined to fall short.
Excellent fight in terms of Wardley. Now Wardley got out of jail in his last one.
Well, that's what I was going to say. Is it the right fight for Fabio?
I think Joe Parker wins it. I think
does that make it the right fight for Fabio?
The guy that
it's the right opportunity. It's all about opportunity. You have so it is the right fight. Yeah.
Is it?
Yeah, I think
for Fabio.
So. Absolutely. Look, they're both at the top.
Simon Jordan cut through the noise with one question: is this the right fight for Wardley right now? Because once you step into the ring with someone like Joseph Parker, there's no going back. You either rise or you drown. Analyst Adam Catterall agreed. Parker's the favorite for good reason, he said. He's technically superior, battle-tested, and calm under fire. Wardley has heart, hunger, and power, but Parker has the tools, the timing, and the temperament. And in this sport, that combination is deadly. The coming clash between Joseph Parker and Fabio Wardley isn't just another heavyweight fight, it's a test of depth, discipline, and danger. Parker's composure stands in direct contrast to Wardley's chaos. One man's still climbing, while the other has already seen the summit, and the view from the top changes everything. It's brave of Wardley to take this fight. No one questions that. But bravery alone...
For both guys to take this fight, a big risk for Fabio Wardley because it's a massive jump up in comparison to Justice Uni, and it's the unpredictability and the unknown of Fabio Wardley for Joseph Parker. You know, so I respect the both guys for taking this fight. Frank Warren hit the nail on the head very...
Doesn't win battles. Sometimes it just gets you hurt. Boxing analyst Liam Goff called it what it is, a gamble. The risk, he said, sits heavier on Wardley's shoulders. Stepping in with Parker isn't just a challenge, it's a leap into a level of danger he's never faced before. Wardley's fight with Justice Huni showed flashes of vulnerability, but Parker is a different kind of threat altogether. Heavier hands, sharper mind, calmer under fire. Parker has fought in title bouts, survived knockdowns, and beaten men who were supposed to crush him. For him, unpredictability isn't fear, it's fuel. But for Wardley, that same unpredictability could spiral into panic once Parker starts reading him. Goff's breakdown respected both men, but everyone knows who's walking the tightrope here. Parker fights to cement his legacy. Wardley fights to prove he belongs. And that gap in experience...
I feel like Wardley wins this fight with a knockout. I don't know why I'm thinking of it, but it's just, you know, when you know, it's like that. It's like when you play the lottery and then you just get your numbers right. And I believe Fabio has got his numbers right now because after his last performance, he's got something to prove. I know Fabio for a while, you know, Fabio's a little beast. And Joseph is a beast as well, but I believe that Fabio Wardley wins this fight with a knockout. It will stop Joseph Parker.
Experience could turn Wardley's bold gamble into a brutal reality check. Then came Derek Chisora, the eternal chaos merchant, fanning the flames with his trademark grin. Wardley's knocking Parker out, he declared. The crowd roared, but the analysts smirked. Chisora has shared the ring with Fury, Usyk, and Parker himself, so his words carry weight, but this time they sounded more like belief than logic. Wardley's talk of getting his numbers right might sound poetic, but boxing isn't poetry. Parker isn't a lottery ticket. He's a problem. He's been dropped, recovered, and finished fights on his own terms. Wardley's bravery might win cheers, but bravery in front of Parker's precision could turn into self-destruction. The real difference here is depth. Parker knows how to adjust mid-round. Wardley hasn't shown that yet. Chisora might bet on chaos, but Parker thrives in control. If Wardley swings wild looking for that one-shot miracle, he might just walk straight into a Parker counter.
Go to the deep wars, you know, man, unless somebody slips up and get caught early. But, you know, we gotta get him into the deep water.
That ends nights. Legendary trainer Buddy McGirt nailed it. This fight will be decided in deep water. Wardley's early rounds might look promising. Fast hands, heavy shots, explosive energy. But when the adrenaline fades, Parker begins to build. His rhythm isn't wild. It's methodical. He waits, he reads, and then he punishes. Rounds 5, 6, and 7. That's Parker's domain. That's where he drags opponents somewhere dark and cruel, where stamina dies and experience takes over. That's where champions are made, and pretenders drown. Wardley's never been there. Against Hooney, he looked lost when things got tactical. Against Parker, it won't just be about skill, it'll be about survival. Deep waters don't just test lungs, they test soul. Heavyweight Fraser Clark, who's shared the ring with Wardley, understands that truth. He's felt Wardley's power and respects his grit, but even Clark couldn't deny what's coming.
Fabio Wardley on a couple of occasions. What are his biggest qualities?
Well, you don't need me to tell you nothing more than he can punch very hard. You know, you only have to ask my face. Yeah, he can really bang, and he's gritty. He's tough and he's gritty. You know, that's definitely his strengths. But then again, so is Joseph Park. You know, very tough, very durable, very good boxing brain. It's a
Power means nothing when it meets timing. He said, when brute force collides with composure, chaos meets control. Parker doesn't rely on wild exchanges. He crafts moments inside them. Clark described it perfectly. Wardley's tough, but toughness alone won't carry him through 12 rounds against a man who's already been to the edge and come back. Parker has evolved, from contender to craftsman, from power puncher to patient assassin. And that evolution could decide everything. The irony is brutal. Wardley's greatest strength, his aggression, might be the very thing that gets him broken down. Because this fight isn't just about belts or rankings, it's about what the heavyweight division represents: danger, pride, and legacy. Parker versus Wardley is more than a clash, it's a generational collision. Calm mastery versus raw ambition. Parker stands as the veteran who's walked through fire and learned to breathe in it. His victories over Wilder and Zhang weren't lucky nights, they were rebirths. Every time the world counted him out, Parker rewrote the ending. And now across from him stands Fabio Wardley, young, fearless, and dangerously naive. He talks knockouts, but talk doesn't win rounds. Against Parker, confidence can turn to confusion the moment your punches stop landing. This is experience versus explosion. If Wardley can make it messy, he has a chance. But if Parker finds rhythm, it'll be clinical. A lesson in patience, precision, and punishment. Because this version of Joseph Parker doesn't just fight to win. He fights to remind the world his time isn't over. Wardley's here to take that legacy, or die trying. 2 men, 1 ring, no middle ground. This is the kind of fight that changes careers, the kind that silences critics or creates stars. One man's rise will begin